Good evening, everyone. Welcome to season 18 of the Super League. If anyone can hear me and see me, hopefully you can just give me an update on the connection, as it seems as if YouTube seems to think it's bad, but it looks okay to me. So if you have any problems, please let me know in the chat, um, as I'm sure you will. Evening Tato, evening Mr. Edwards, reigning champion that you are. Evening Steve, evening Dan. Who did I miss? Smarts and Alex. Excellent, excellent to have you all back. Excellent. Looking forward to this one. Looking forward to season 18. Proves to be very exciting. Lots of good transfers have been done, but a lot of people have been strengthening their squads and some consolidating. A few big names have been swapped around, so all is looking very good and very interesting. We don't need to remind ourselves who won last season, but maybe worth mentioning just very briefly the recent history. Northern Burn Haggis, East Coast Northern Burn Badgers, East Coast Northern Burn Haggis. Um, nice to see some. Wouldn't it be nice to see some new faces up there? Maybe so. We'll see how it goes. As some people pointed out, though, Northern Burnside is looking. Possibly stronger than ever. Not a huge amount of changes at Haggis. East Coast have done a little bit, but we'll get around to that. Speak about that a little bit later on. We are going to dive straight into this, and the first game we're going to have this evening is going to be Haggis, because I promised that to Mr. Campbell, who's stuck somewhere at an Oasis concert, presumably. Um, I'm not sure what they're playing at the moment, but he'll be hoping for some sweet music from his side here as they face the Vikings. I think that Steve is on holiday with his family, so the Vikings are on their own. But he's left me some instructions. I'm sure we'll manage. Um, and yeah, so the story of Haggis kicking off this season is that they have some goalkeeper problems. As you've noticed, their I mean, I won't say the man of the season. Maybe, I don't know, one of the best players for sure. Cuenca is being sort of thrown about in terms of like some transfer options. So that's interesting to see what comes up there. If anyone else struggling with the sound, let me know. But it looks okay. I can't turn it up any higher anyway, so we're gonna have to go with this. Um, and I think a big story here is, of course, Inzaghi joining. He had a great season at Northern Burn. Didn't do a lot of stacking turn. What will he do here at Haggis? It looks as if he'll be playing in a two. Not sure if that's his sort of favorite option, but he's next to Montella, so that could be interesting for him to see how that goes. As mentioned, I have instructions from Steve. And yeah, so ideally we obviously try to get on with two managers, but I promised Ian to go first, and as Steve is not really here, then I think it'll be fine. I think it will be fine. So that's what we're gonna go with Haggis, and their sort of familiar lineup. I don't want to go into too much detail. As mentioned, not a lot has changed since last season, apart from Inzaghi joining up top. We'll see what else will happen during the course of the season. What will happen in the goalkeeper? Notice both of them are unhappy. That could be a problem for Haggis, of course. Meanwhile, the Vikings, a couple of changes in personnel here as well. Big name that has gone out. Kloiber, I believe, has left, and Nedved has come in, desperately searching for some creativity. Of course, the Vikings weren't exactly free scoring last season. They're hoping to rectify that by adding some talent here in midfield in the form of Nedved. Hersey's coming along nicely as well in his development. Could be interesting to see how he goes. Changing the tactics up a little bit. I mean, it's a familiar look. Won't dwell too long on it. I think we're all fairly well into to what the tactics looks like by now. Volodenkov, who he started to use, as I recall, towards the end of last season, he's done really well. So he's obviously going to play a big role, at least for the start here. Important to mention: 20 in crossing, 20 off the ball, 20 positioning, 20 teamwork. Those are definitely not bad stats to have. So he'll find plenty of use for him. Arke on the other side. Let's see what he can do this season. Hershey and Nedved behind Shevchenko. That's going to be his starting lineup for the majority you would expect of the season in terms of taking those two AMC spots. But we'll see. Of course, if he has a poor start to the season, things might change. But who knows? So that's going to be our opener of season 18. Welcome everyone. I hope you enjoyed. No, Alf. Unfortunately, I can't. Perhaps a touch. that should be it's in the it's in the normal volume range on my stream software. I haven't changed this in last season, so if there's a problem with it, then I do apologize. But there's not really. If anyone else is experiencing problems with the sound, let me know. But I'm not sure I can do anything about it right now. We kick this one off first. Um, Haggis against the Vikings. First goal of the season incoming. My goodness, the first 10 minutes flew past there, but a couple of good chances, I believe, most of them for Haggis. But the Vikings are really making themselves known to the Haggis defenders here. Shevchenko has already had a couple of shots, and there's Emerton again getting involved. And it seems as if it's still a big battle for control of this one. 35 minutes played already. And here comes Simao comes forward. Good save by the Vikings keeper. And there is Nedved and Shevchenko combining down the other end. What Steve wanted to see from his new signing, getting involved early on. Key to Vikings that they start scoring. And there is Hersey, one of the three that we mentioned. And there is Walter Samuel picking up a red card, and he's straight into the shower. Yeah, let's see what Ian wants to do here. We've obviously pretty much at halftime. So if you want to do any other substitutions at halftime, we can take them now as well. But we're gonna have to see what Haggis are gonna go here. They're gonna go one at the back, feeling brave. We'll just let this one run till halftime then. And Cannavaro makes a crucial intervention. There's the halftime whistle. Haggis 5 shots, 4 on target. Vikings with 6 and 2, but they are the side who have taken the early lead. Obviously, I think Steve had instructions in case they were losing. Um, he doesn't have any he doesn't have any instructions in case they were winning. So I guess it's as is from the Vikings. Um, some eights, some sevens. There's a six for Nedved there, and yes, Arkan van Bommel not doing brilliantly either. Emerton got the assist there. There was someone Tater was questioning his inclusion there at the DMC role, but it seems to have been working okay. Um, Over at the Haggis side, we have Simao on a yellow card. Fabio Cannavaro's on a six, Said on a six, Gomez on a six, and Sagi's on. Oh, there's lots of sixes here. We've got Figo and Tomadera on the bench. Um, that's obviously some fairly sort of obvious attacking options. Roll till 60, says Ian. We shall do just that. Um, Speed on fast, as we have grown familiar to make sure we stop on 60. Shevchenko and Hersey combining this. Arca good save from the Haggis keeper though. Balma down the other end, but Kiotis picks up the loose ball. There comes Filippo Inzaghi combining with Montella. Will they work together, or will one of them have to start by himself? It is Inzaghi who scores on his debut. Amazing effort from him, and exactly what his manager wanted, especially being a goal down, pulling a goal back. That is crucial here in the second half. And let's see if we get up to 60 minutes. There we are. Yeah, it's been level in the second half as well. A couple of shots for both sides. Haggis just a little bit more effective. He said he was abroad. I'm not entirely sure about that. Aha, Steve, indeed. Uh, he is abroad. Julio Arca is on a 5, so that's not good. But he's still not losing, so there aren't any instructions. So we're just leaving this up for everyone to see. Probably going to be a little bit disappointed at Nedved being on a 6, but you can't have it all. Meanwhile, the Haggis stats haven't improved dramatically. Daniel Cruz got the assist as mentioned. Filippo Inzaghi with a goal. Simao was there on a 7 with his yellow card. And yeah, we'll see if the Haggis manager wants to do anything about it. He says roll, so that's what we're going to do. Speed it up again. Might slow it down here for the end, depending on how exciting it gets. Evening, Mike. Great to have you here. You're just in time to enjoy the last 25 minutes of Haggis versus the Vikings. 18 minutes now left to play. 15 minutes now left to play. Both sides still creating chances, but no one is finding the back of the net, and there is a problem. Let's see what we have in terms of options on the bench. We have Sorochinsky, sort of a fairly obvious solution here, or you could potentially, I guess, put It's the Barrier on. That's probably a little bit more. That's what I would do. I would put Estebaria on for Van Bommel, and then we pop Ned back down there because he is a decent option there. Rio Ferdinand takes over the captain's armband. Let's put it down to fast and let's see how it goes here. Good night, gents. Haggis is already signed off. Let's see if anything happens. Last couple of minutes. Hersey comes forward, continues on a post, but it's a good save by the Haggis keeper. He might be unhappy, but he hasn't decided to take off his gloves and do nothing yet. He's still doing as best as he can for the Haggis side, trying to find a late winner here, but it's Arca coming down the other end. Great intervention by the keeper there again. Looks as if it's going to be a 1-1 draw, and indeed it is. 95 minutes gone. Haggis and Vikings. It's a 1-1 draw. Very eventful match here. 10 shots and 9. So almost 20 between them. Very good. Very good. And let's have a look at the Viking stats. Man of the match is going to be Yusuf Hersey. I'm not entirely sure why, but but okay, never mind. Um, Meanwhile, over at Haggis, Mario Cuenca, still the captain, still putting up a brilliant performance, getting an 8. A little bit not good news for Gomez. Cannavaro didn't do too well either, and Walter Samuels, of course, going to be suspended now. Um, right. Excellent. Who's next is the big question. We can go Sloths against East Coast because I'm not sure if I think Dimble's at the game. We can go Dudley. We can go anyone desperate to go now. Then I'm more than happy to put you on. Um, have we seen Smarts? Tato and Steve, you're both here. Well, you were the first one to kind of call it out. Fulchester, who's Fulchester playing? You're playing Stackington. Alex is kind of. You're all. Oh well. Right. If Alex's kids are sleeping, then I'll go Stackington. Great news. I'll go Stackington Fulchester then. Curious to see how this one goes. I have to tell you, Stackington. New faces here. We've got Oliveira, who was kind of thrown about a little bit with Mike Duff by accident by yours truly. Samuel Leto is there, and Anelka, the new signing, obviously the swap with Haggis there with Inzaghi, who scored on his debut. Let's see if Anelka can do the same. At the back, there's a bit of I guess a bit of a change here in preferred personnel. Rockham back is an odd one, but yeah, here we go. I'm sure he'll do well. And Stackington, of course, hoping to have a little bit of a better season as plenty of teams are, but will Anelka be the answer? Maybe Oliveira? We will have to find out. And the best way to find out is to kick off the game and get them up against Fulchester. Fulchester, who have who have issues. They've managed to do a couple of good deals here. I think that's looking kind of exciting. So let's just dwell on that for a little bit here. They've got Gattuso in. That's a good one. They've got Van der Varden. He could maybe do something. And they've got Roy Keane in from Foss Road. That's a big name signing there. Roy Keane obviously getting on a little bit. He is 34, but still very, very impressive numbers. Presumably he's going to be sort of he's intended to be the key player for Fulchester if he can sort of keep himself on the pitch and not get suspended too often. A bit of a story here as well is that we've got Danielson, I believe, at right back. I'm fairly sure that's correct because I have double checked. So, but if I've missed something, Dan, you're obviously more than welcome to let me know. But I believe that's that's what we're looking at here, um, and uh, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm not sure I've seen Danielson at right back before, but it could work, of course. That's good for now. Excellent. Okay, in that case, let's kick this one off. Without further ado, it's Fulchester against Stackington. Two teams who were sort of below the line for the vast majority of last season, if not all of it. Let's see if one of them can do a little bit better, or perhaps both of them this season. Let's start this Stackington against Fulchester match and see who comes out on top. It won't be Finland because he is already injured. So time to earn your money. Mr. Kenny. You have got, I guess Yakubu could go out there. I don't know who else would be the obvious solution on that right back. I think Guigu, Yakubu, they're probably the two that have right in the name. Finnan obviously has to come off. And then Alexander Voigt could potentially go in straight swap for Guigu on the left side there. Uh, Yakubu at right midfield. And I guess someone on for Finnan. I mean, plenty of options. I'm guessing Voigt could move Matt Kerr in as well. And it'll be Voigt for Finland. Alexander Voigt comes on for almost 90 minutes. Voigt on the left of the three, please. There we go. Good, 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 good. Let's get this one back. Back on the road with Stackington, trying to create chances. See if Yakubu lives up to his huge value. That's the question on everyone's lips, Tato. I mean, you'll be kicking yourself for not taking advantage of that. Oh my goodness, it's Guigu and Oliveira just on 30 and 33 minutes respectively. Frey not having a great game for Fulchester apparently. Looks unfortunately for Dan as if the season finishes where it's left off for Fulchester. And it's Stackington who takes I would say, a slightly surprising 2-0 lead, especially given the the goal scorers, probably not the two people you expected to see there. It has been even. The main difference has been in the goalkeeping. It would seem 5 and 5, 4 and 4 Fulchester stats. I mean, Sepp Frey is picking up a 7. Everyone else is not doing particularly well. Robbie Keane is 84 on fitness, but apart from that, things are looking sort of fairly decent. Stackington, meanwhile, excellent performance by Anelka. He gets an assist, and it's only really Eto who's on a 6 here. Alexander Voigt as well with an assist. He's on a 9 coming off the bench there. Excellent performance by him. And Guigu's on a yellow card. Mark Kerr and Francis Jeffers, of course, on the bench, probably with the intention of going with an MC if he was a man down. We're going to go Cook for Danielson over at Fulchester, and Alex is going to go as is. See if Dan wants to make any other changes, but that was probably it for now anyway. Roy Keane, captain on a 6. Let's see. 60 minutes are coming up in 15 minutes time. Shay Given, another one that really, I mean, I think I spoke about him a couple of times last season. Very, very important for Stackington. Almost a level of Quinta for. Oh, and there is Robbie Keane, not Roy, scoring on his debut. Fulchester pull one back here just at the beginning of the second half. As mentioned, it had been a fairly even game. Although here comes Yakubu, the main man for Stackington. Yakubu was offside though. Disappointing for him. Jack Atos come forwards. And here comes Roy Keane to Robbie Keane. That's going to confuse me throughout the season if those two keep playing next to each other. Pizarro, not seen his name. Completely forgot that he was actually the starting striker for Fulchester. Just seen his name pop up there. Let's see if he can do something for Fulchester here in the second half. They have looked the more likely to score, I would say, in addition to having scored the goal. Fulchester definitely having the better of it at the moment, but there is given with a good save. 60 minutes coming out now. Rivaldo's coming forward. There is Oliveira into Rockenbach's feet. Roy Keane is there. Oliveira again. Materazzi again. Good defending from Fulchester there. They are fully in charge of the second half here. 8 and 6. Stackington down 6 and 5. They've had that one shot in the second half, not on target. But it's definitely the wind is blowing in Fulchester's direction. Will we see another substitution from the manager here? Unassisted the goal from Robbie Keane, apparently. Alex is an interesting one to have sitting on the bench. I believe a Super League winner with Bolton Phoenix back in the day. I could be wrong, obviously. But something tells me he's done well in the past. Alex Daniel Anderson, less convinced about that. Pizarro's on a 6. Viduka, obviously, keen to get on as always. Meanwhile, at Stackington, it's looking sort of. I mean, it's looking good, apart from the fact that that they haven't been able to keep the lead at 2 goals, and they haven't really created anything. In terms of the numbers, it's looking fairly decent. So we'll see if Alex wants to do something. I mean, he has got Franny Jeffers here. He's not going to take off Anelka. That would be unwise. And Eto's up on a 7. So probably just going to stick, but we'll see what he says. Meanwhile, it's going to be Viduka coming off. And it's going to be for Pizarro. So we will see if that helps. Um, or if Shea Given will be able to hang on in there. Viduka for Pizarro is going to be it for Dan, I guess. And Alex says as is. So let's kick off the last half hour and see if Stackington can hang on. Watching you two exes mud wrestle. I I mean, I guess I'm not sure where that comes from. It's Anelka scoring on his debut. It's in Sagi's footsteps. Jagatas pulls one back. We're going to have to slow this down a little bit for the last 5 minutes. Fulchester are not going to give up here, but Stackington have been very, very clinical on the occasions where it really mattered. And Fulchester sort of seems as if the steam has gone off the kettle a little bit here, just coming up towards the end. Can Roy Keane do something? Or is it too little too late? Alexander Voigt's getting super involved from that left DMC position, and it's Stackington who holds on for an excellent 3-2 win. Good opening to the season for them. 10-6, 9-7, another 19 shot match. Interesting times in the Super League in terms of shots on target. Mark Viduka, I guess, sort of makes a claim for being included in the next starting squad, getting that assist and a 7 wasn't terrible, to be honest. Michelini perhaps a little bit disappointing on a 6 there, but now overall a good solid Fulchester performance there. Definitely seen a lot worse from them. And yeah, something to build on. Something to build on. Need a few back, yeah, without a couple of players as well, Fulchester. But yeah, it's looking decent for them. Stackington, meanwhile, good result for them. William Bialy, who was on a 6, got up to a 7 with that assist, and Elka with an assist and a goal. Somehow doesn't get the man of the match award. He'll be pissed off with that. Alexander Voigt comes in and gets a 9, and likely to start the next game, you would think, based on that. So 2 good games. Dudley against Badgers. Do we go Dudley against Badgers? Steve is here, I believe. He certainly was. Stephen Wright, indeed, he was earlier on. So he probably still is, and so is Tato, presumably. So let's have a look at how Dudley line up. Maldini completely dropped. He's only 37. Oh, Smuts wants to go. I mean, if you're desperate, where are you playing? Burn. I mean, yes, you can. Here's Scott. We go Foss Road just because I'm feeling nice, smuts. And he's here. I don't know. Do you? Oh, Edwards was about. I don't know if he's at the game. And he's got it on his phone, but he was here. Um, Steve's going to the bar. Excellent. Right, we'll do Foss Road against the Burn then. Reigning champions. Story of Foss Road's transfer window is that I can't really remember. They did a lot, and it got a little bit messy. Um, Players are injured and suspended all over the place. Shimkoviak and Totti suspended. Hofland suspended. Gerrard still injured. Van Bronckhorst is still there in the DMC lineup. Ambrosini and Cambiaso joining them. There's Boyer in central midfield. Ronaldinho, Van Nistelrooy, Cole on the left hand side, and this fella, Eliofor. Not someone I'm familiar with, but I'm sure he'll do a wonderful job for Foss Road this evening. I don't know a lot about the game, but it doesn't seem to me as if Foss Road have strengthened in this transfer window. I could be wrong. Kill me in the comments if I'm wrong, but it doesn't seem like they've strengthened in this window. I do have instructions from Nick Matulian. Do you want Nick Matulian as captain, or did you tell me someone else? I forgot already. Um, and I don't have it to hand probably. So if you could remind me who you want as captain, that would be amazing. Otherwise, I'll look it up, but that will take 30 seconds probably of my valuable time and yours. Mm. Whoever has the highest influence usually. I don't know who that might be, but we can certainly find out. If we view these ones, Lee Boyer, congratulations, congratulations with your choice of captain. I hope he can sort of prevent himself from fighting anyone. We'll see how that goes. Too late now. You said who has the highest influence, so Lee Boy is your captain. Bad luck. Um, you're, you're up against Northern Burn. Um, Erigi over Mourinho is scandalous. I don't know. I don't know if Smuts doesn't rate him. Isn't is he got him, subbed him on twice, didn't do anything good. I mean, he was poor at Burn as well, but I guess he's left-footed. Aha. Unlike, yeah, exactly. There's something about that, isn't there? Right. Anyway, let's not dwell too much about that. You're playing Northern Burn, so we'll see how it goes. I don't think they have any suspensions, so I think you're probably going to have to be on top form here, Mr. Smuts. Northern Burn, they are still without Impenta. Campbell is suspended, so that's another suspension to mention. And then there is Impenta. I guess the talk of the town, their transfer window. Phil Neville has joined, and yeah, a bunch of players, a bunch of a bunch of players from around the world. They're mostly sort of like in the reserves, but if you're wondering where all the squad filler has gone, then Northern Burn reserves is the is the answer. And yeah, Brooking, of course, the big name coming in here, I would say. And of course, I mean, this was who you could argue big. Tiano Samba starts. I mean, that's probably the story of the night. But we'll see how he gets on. Um, Ian says as is. So so we'll see how it goes. Foss Road against Northern Burn. Let's kick this one off. Third game of the evening, and reigning champions. Let's see what kind of start they can get off to. If Tiano Samba's going to fancy his chances up against the left-footed Foss Road defender. It's Van Nistelrooy who's opened the scoring. I was going to say, I wonder how long it'll be before Van Nistelrooy starts scoring goals, but that didn't take long. Got the penalty, not sure who committed it, but of course, lucky for Northern Burn, they didn't get anyone sent off for that. And Channel Samba has equalised. It is 4 or 5 seasons in, so he's probably hitting Super League levels. He is probably hitting Super League levels right about now. We'll do a straight swap for Argel, unless Smuts is going to object to this one. You're going to have a right-footed centre back. That's just how it is. So that was lucky that it was him and not the other one. We'll roll this one to halftime, and I'll blabber on a little bit more about stuff. Tierno Samba goal there for Northern Burn. Excellent debut for him. He is going to get dropped when Impenta comes back. Oh my goodness! And Cole and Cole has made it 2-1. Not a great start for the Northern Burn defense there without Sol Campbell, obviously. But you would have thought that things would have gone a little bit better for them, given that they've had 9 and 6 to Foster's Road's 4 and 3. Um, as is Smuts. It's the same for Ian, but let's run through the stats very quickly. Arnold Brooking has an assist. Good for him. Everyone else, not brilliant. And Jai is an 8 though, but no one really sort of stands out. Good to see Chero Samba getting a goal though. Better numbers over at the Foster Road side. There's more 8s, more 7s. The assist Derby. Manis Roy, of course, got the assist. Lee Boyer, the captain, who was brought down for the penalty. Excellent. And I see Mr. Edwards is watching, presumably from Holker Street. Is that what it's called? 60 minutes coming up in just a couple of seconds' time. Goal kick for Foss Road. Samba picks up the loose ball. There is Brooking. Brooking strikes with fury. Nothing happening though, but still Northern Burn in control, I guess, in terms of possession and creating chances. But Foss Road still has the lead. One of the central defenders now on a yellow card. There we go. Ian could lose every game of the season, still end up in the playoffs. True. Maybe not quite literally true, but I get it. I get it. 10-6 for Northern Burn, somehow just not finding in the back of the net. Foss Road hasn't done anything since half time. Evelyn Ross, and happy birthday. Roy Mackay is an option. Neil Scally exists. Cosmic Crunchers on a 6. Is there anything super obvious? Roy Mackay for Pablo Aymar, maybe? I do think Ian's going to go as is, though, but while he ponders that, we can maybe have a quick look at Foss Road. Nick Matulin's on a 9, unsurprisingly, given the amount of shots that he's blocked or prevented already. Beckham's on a 6, not brilliant. Ronaldinho's on a 6 as well. I've completely forgot about him. Not even seen his name once, I think. Up against NDI, that's always going to be tricky. But yeah, overall, pretty good. Pretty good for first 60 minutes from Foss Road. Ian goes as is, and we want to see back, Arik back for Ronaldinho. He's not going to like that, is he? Ronnie. Been brought to the club under false pretenses, he's going to argue. We'll see. Unhappy at being substituted, maybe. I'm guessing that's going to be it. But let's see. Last half hour coming up. Foss Road against Northern Burn. Can Northern Burn find a way back into this? Appeal for a penalty there was turned down. NDI picks up a yellow card, and it's been a little bit more Foss Road now. And they've had a couple more chances here. I don't know if it's Back's introduction that's done that. Let's slow this down for fast just to see if Northern Burn can get the equaliser. Good defensive display by Foss Road, holding firm. Here comes Brooking, though. Here comes Verong. Campiasso gets in there and breaks up the attack. Free kick for Northern Burn. That's Aymar. Hits the wall, though. Not what the manager wanted to see, and it looks as if Foss Road are going to hold on. Another game with quite a few shots on target, 14 in this one. Oh, sorry, quite 14 shots, 9 on the one target. Northern Burn, reigning champions, losing to Foss Road 2-1. Great result for Foss Road after I slacked off their transfer window dealings. And Northern Burn will be a little bit sort of bit of a head scratching moment for Northern Burn there. They seem to be sort of fairly in control of this one. Gave away the penalty, of course, which is always disappointing. Channel Sample was quick to get a goal, but then it just kind of sort of fizzled out a little bit. Hippie and Montero did poorly in central defence, and I wasn't great either. So, but 4-star Mr. Edwards is not going to lose any sleep over this. He'll come back stronger, no doubt. So bad luck for whoever plays him next. Now we shall do Tato, and then we will do Sloths. I guess after that, presumably Steve's back from the bar. Boothtown Badgers against Dudley Hill. Let's go with that. Dudley Hill, where are you? There. Maldini, as I mentioned before, I got sidetracked and chose a different game. Maldini, 37 years old, no longer in the starting lineup for Dudley Hill. Sad news for them, or sad news for him. They have got Lucio, though, who's joined them. He's looking sort of reasonably solid, apart from maybe his positioning being a bit low, but overall good. Great jumping. And Lasisi, that's a decent signing. Obviously getting a little bit of fresh blood in there, Dudley Hill. They had a couple of sort of of older fellas hanging about, but yeah, they've got a couple of younger players in here and there. Capu's on the right hand side. They did sign Dyer as well. He's in central midfield behind Ortega and Collins, who are then in turn behind Kluivert. They've got Frank as well as an option. It's a strong lineup. Not sure about the depth, but it's looking decent. Brosek is there as well, and of course, the region of someone that I have forgotten. Maybe Batistuta, but don't quote me on that. We'll see if he gets a game. There's a few people after him this season, I know, but he was already promised to Steve, who was the only person who asked for him last season when he was too young and unwilling to to move clubs for some reason. He preferred to stay at the whatever amateur outfit he was at, Fraser Park. Indeed, he preferred to stay at Fraser Park, where he did pretty well, to be honest. Not a bad season there, 57, 42, and 22 man of the match awards in 43 games. So yeah, solid. We'll see if he gets a run later on in the season. But of course, now we're starting with the big names of the original sort of people in the database. Meanwhile, over at Boothtown Badgers, interesting choice in the starting lineup here. Something about three AMCs that he kind of like went back on and regretted or whatever. But I'm sure it's all with with the available players in mind. We're not going to see Del Vecchio starting, but we see Reyes starting. He's developing quite nicely. I wonder if he can actually do something. He had a bit of a blast the last couple of seasons, but I think it came in like a burst. These kind of three assists or whatever it was. So might not be as great as it looked. I signed some better DMC so I can play them instead. Is that true? Edgar Davids, I guess. Mendietta's there as well. Adu, you have as well. Actually lied. Is he a DMC or a central defender? If you're wondering why Badgers have played, they struggled through the World Championships, of course, and played the reserves and did badly. Just as an aside, Zvrissas has also joined. Um, looks okay, I guess. Backup. Rossini has joined. He looks terrible. We're not going to spend too much time talking about him, but I think Edgar Davids is a big signing. A big signing for them. He obviously had a very good time at Sloths, but Sloths needed something else, and he went to Badgers. So yeah, where he'd been before, of course, joined Sloths from Badgers. So yeah, big player for Badgers. But let's see how it goes this evening. Studley Hill take on the Badgers. Current should be very fast for the first half. Gigs, lots of gigs and lots of Thierry Henry. And there is Johan Vogel, captain. Uh, Probably not what his manager wanted to see. There is I guess Kalatsa is kind of the obvious one. Um, Dhoni and swap with Dyer eventually could also be um, an option. We'll see what Steve wants to do here. Straight swap for Kalatsa, um, which means that Ariel Ortega is now the captain for Dudley Hill. I'm not sure the game thinks these things through or what it bases that on, but yeah, here we go. That's a striking partnership, isn't it, for Badgers? It's David Collins. Oh, David Collins. Will this finally be his season? He's promised a lot, but has he delivered? That's the question. Ooh, and Kluivert on his debut. How many strikers are going to score in their debut tonight? Dudley Hill 2-0 up against the Badgers. Terrible start for the visitors. And David Collins continues to dominate, it looks like. And Darius Kluivert with his second, a very impressive debut from him. 3-0 up at halftime. It is not going Badgers' way at all. Um, David Collins here too. Yes, David Collins is everywhere. Great game this, Dudley Hill, against Badgers so far. Um, Toldo's, Toldo's, his head's gone. What's happening here? Great seasons for him. You could swap with the unhappy guy over at Haggis, um, if you want. Ryan Giggs on a 5. I mean, that's a great, uh, that's a great option for Vale Red to go down there maybe. A goalkeeper swap. Oh, a goalkeeper swap. Ryan Giggs picks up the captain's armband. He's on a 5, so that's good. Dudley Hill, meanwhile, let's have a look at these assists. Roberto Carlos and Cafu flying down the wings, getting the assist there, rolling back the years, although they aren't that old yet. Kalata's come on, he's got an assist as well. Patrick Kluivert is on a yellow, but obviously doing super well. Everyone doing great. Lucius on a yellow, though, that could potentially be a problem. But it's looking sort of fairly decent for Steve at the moment, to be completely honest. 3-0 up against the Badgers. It's not a bad place to be. Um, Tato claims to have lost every ounce of ability. Good, 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 good. Um, just run my boys till 90. No further changes needed. Are you sure you have got Del Vecchio and Michael Owen at your disposal, and you come up with a statement like that? Excellent. Let's see how it goes till 60. Obviously, everyone gets a fair chance to do stuff at 60. See some new faces, maybe. Give someone half an hour run. Put Red out on the wing, maybe. You could score 2 goals. Surprise comeback could be on the cards. Who knows? There comes Davids, fingertip saved by Hetman, though. That'll be a corner. Another corner. Hicks takes that again. A gap now comes forward. See what he can do here. It's it's all badges. It's often like that though when you dominate the first half, isn't it? Who's this? Oh, it was on Lucio. It wasn't Lucio who did it. I thought Lucio was about to get sent off with Dudley Hill there, but it wasn't to be. It was someone making a foul on him instead. Um, it's been all badges, hasn't it? Apart from in terms of goals, obviously, but the second half has definitely been played very much in their favour. Let's easy trip them, and he's on a yellow now. Free kick given. There's Giggs. He's going to shoot for range, deflecting off the wall. Plenty of chances for the Badgers. There comes Henry, goes past Kalatza. David Collins picks up the loose ball though, but now it's Klumpy coming forward, and Milewski's get a warning from the referee. Um, what? I thought Badgers had a tons of shots. Seems not. Must have been mistaken. It looked better for Badgers, but apparently not. I was lying the whole time. Tato says roll. I guess that means we are not going to see Del Vecchio or Michael Owen at this point in time, which is fair. Which is fair. Dudley Hill, meanwhile, they've got Christian Doney and Pavel Brosik on the bench, ready to come on if Steve wants to make any changes. Just wait for the confirmation for both managers, obviously, or at least from Steve. If Tato is going to hang his head in shame somewhere else. Does not go well for Sloss when we took players you didn't want. They might fit better into your formation, Alf. As mentioned, I thought it was all about just in the second half, but apparently they haven't done anything. So I'm not entirely sure what the text was referring to there. Um, Run till 60 says Tato. I'll just wait and see if Steve wants to do anything. Tested a couple and had Reds and Cloywood as one, so Brosick for Cloywood, mate. Well, you got to protect your big name striker. He's the top of the charts. Um, Redraft. There will be a redraft. Alf, patience, patience, my dear. End of the season, I'm sure that we all agree that there will be a redraft and rebranding of teams and all this kind of good stuff. But we've got another 6 months of this, so don't worry. All good things come to those who wait, including wins and goals for the Badgers, I'm sure. Roberto Carlos comes forward. Win, they probably won't today, but they could still get a goal. Oh, Brosic scores in his debut as well. Another one for the collection of debut goals, and it's a 4-0 lead for Dudley Hill. That'll put them top of the table for sure at the end of the evening. Um, I mean, oh, that could have been that could have been even five, but the goal was ruled out for offside. I have no idea what's going on at the Badgers end, and there is Brosek with his second. He insists on that. Something has gone terribly wrong at the Badgers defence. Not entirely sure what that was. It's been a while since we've had a 5-0 victory in the Super League, but here is one for Dudley Hill. Um, Surprising, I would say. 11 shots, 10 on target. Um, yeah, that was no fun at all for the Badgers, for the traveling fans here. Ashley Live, a new signing, got an 8. Everyone else, pretty shitty performances overall. Klumbe, Addo, Giggs especially. That's shocking for him. Um, yeah, not good, not good. Last match, Sloth won 6-0. Indeed, Sloth is the last sort of reason. Pavel Brosek comes on 63 minutes, gets a 10 and man of the match. Well done. Aha, and you didn't play Rossini. Savage, have you seen Rossini's attributes and his scoring record? But indeed, that could have been why. He has maybe other qualities he brings to the team. Anyway, fantastic result from Dudley Hill. Surely that's them top of the table by the end of the evening. Assists sort of scattered across the board. Um, and yeah, excellent start from Dudley Hill. I said that I would go with Alf next, so I will. Alf and the Sloths. Many interesting changes here. Actually, I think strengthened. I think it's a strengthened Sloth side. You could say that David's out is a miss. I question playing Diego Placente at DMC given the other options available, but it could work, I guess. So we will see how it goes. Sadov is there. Gerard is doing okay, I guess. Overall, the two wingbacks did really well for Sloth towards the end of last season. Central defense is great. Goalkeeper is probably going to be good. Gerard captain. We shall organize that. And Alan Smith in that AMC role, maybe he can do something. Uh, that's a honking side. That's harsh, Scott. That's harsh. There are definitely good players in here. There's Kessman as well up top. Um, we've seen worse in the Super League. We'll see. We'll see. They're up against East Coast. They've beaten them before, and they can potentially do that again. Biscan is also trying percent. Yeah, that's. I mean, fair dues. Fair dues. Um, yeah, I mean that's where we're at with slots at the moment. Plenty of testing has been done. Managers convinced that this starting 11 is going to be decent. And yeah, let's see in the Super League how they get on. They are up against East Coast, of course. Couple of changes for them. Most notably, Ronaldinho's gone in here, and I believe that some DMC stuff has been going on as well. Sanetti's come in. Kowalczyk didn't start either. I believe the Kur, Ado, and other folk have been moved on. Just trying a few new people here. Kuhlin at AMC, where he's done well. I think covering for or sort of replacing Totti at Foss Road. I believe Totti was played on the wing then, and Kuhl was played centrally for a while. Um, East Coast is many people's bogey side half. I think it's fair to say, but yeah, good point. But I think Dimple is the one with the highest number of average points of all managers in the Super League ever. So yeah, he's probably quite a few people's bogey side. But yeah, good point. Let's see. Get the excuses in early. That's how we roll. First half coming up. Sloth against East Coast. Let's go. Zambrota goes past Placenta. That was the first action of the game. That's what I noticed. But there was a yellow card for one of the East Coast players. And let's not forget, wasn't it Sloths that over here is Sadov opening the scoring for the Sloths? Wasn't it Sloths who ended East Coast's run or something interesting happened? And there's Kessman with a sensational goal, home side at 2-0 up. Not sure how many people saw this one coming, but it is Sloths who have taken a 2-0 lead on half an hour. It's Gerard who gets the third. East Coast up. Oh, let's see here. And it's 3-0 for Sloths. Easy peasy, as easy as you like. 5 shots, 4 on target, 3 of them went in. East Coast have done absolutely nothing. Very reminiscent of a recent Sloth East Coast game, I think, last season. Honking, absolutely honking, Scott. Indeed, terrible for East Coast. I believe the manager is watching Grimsby against Shrewsbury. So I hope for him that Grimsby are doing a little bit better. Um, must be coming up to full time now anyway. Oh no, they've got 50 minutes left to play. They're winning 2-1. So I believe he is going to be focusing on that. He says, just roll. If I get a red card, keep the shape with 2 DMCs. So no changes there. Has it been tampered with? I don't know. A bald man from Bolton asked me if he could borrow it for a few days. No, I haven't done anything. Just to struggle up for Steve and for Alf, I guess. Good first half for Alf here. Assist for Toneto, assist for Clarence Seedorf. The 3-0 up. Nothing to complain about, I guess. Let's see if Alf wants to do anything at halftime. I'd, I'd probably not if I was him, but but we'll see. Um, Elba could potentially come on from the bench, of course, but we roll till 60. Excellent first half from the slots here. Testing has definitely paid off in this particular case. There comes Robin, goes past Pablo. There comes Constantino, is East Coast, putting one back here. Constantino with the first goal of the season. Obviously, regular amongst the goals for East Coast in the last goal of season here, 13 and 11. Yeah, we're on 60 minutes. East Coast have had one shot and it's gone in. So not a great day for the keepers. Just putting this up for Dimble to see when he watches his back, so he can decide never to play Emerson again, for example, or punish him in some way. Sanetti's on a 6 as well. Sayles is on a 6. That DMC line, they don't seem to really know each other. Kowalczyk is also doing poorly. Sluss, meanwhile, yep, Stam's down on a 6 now. Not the worst, of course. Belgarin is doing brilliantly in the air, 6-4 and 3, and on the ground as well, 6-4 and 2. Very solid, very solid. The sloths here on the hour mark. We'll get the fitness up. I know that Alf is keen on seeing that. 80, 86. No real concerns. 86, there are no concerns for fitness. There's 75 or a 5 average rating. That's normally the threshold for getting for getting pulled by Mr. Bridge. We'll see. Potential for seeing Elber in action, but I'll wait and let Alf confirm obviously what he wants to do here. Interesting who this Araujo fella is as well. He's come in. I brought in from Brazil, from Los Santos, who had him from somewhere for some reason. Didn't really work out for him there, but yeah. Uh, the Kur is a walking red card. I will put Kale there. That seems like a decent enough substitution. That's it. Excellent. Well, good luck to both managers. Of course, mainly to Alf, as he's the one who's here. Leading 3-1, can they hold on, or will East Coast be able to find way back into this? Oh, time went past really quickly there. 13 minutes left to play now, 10 minutes left to play, or 12, let's call it that. East Coast are look like they were just asleep in the first half. They're definitely more in it in the second half, but they've not been able to find the back of the net yet. 91 minutes, that's going to be a consolation if they find one now, nothing else. And there's not even time for that. Time has run out. Sloths, due to that very impressive start they had to the first half, 3-0 up. East Coast just didn't know what to do, didn't have time to really turn it around and get back into this one. Congratulations to Alf. Ian Robin somehow getting a man of the match award. He did get an assist though, but being on the losing side and not really performing particularly well. Surprised to see that Elias 13-5, but look at Rustico 15-12, 9 of them key. Excellent performing. A honking win indeed. Look at all those pathetic 8s and 9s. It's terrible. Oh my goodness. How do you sleep at night, Scott, coming up with such statements? I'm glad to see you proven wrong. Sloths march on. Not quite the first spot. Dudley sort of sticking to that, but yeah, brilliant performance nonetheless. Sloths against the East Coast. Last season's regular season winners, East Coast, weren't they? They've been beaten by Sloths. Excellent result. That leaves us with Sancte and Stanley, I guess. Ross asked to go last, I think. Um, Sloth we've done, Stackington we've done, Haggis we've done, this one we've done, this one we've done. We've gone LSK against Exiles. Um, so we can do that. As Ross asked to go last. So let's do that. Let's do Los Santos against Exiles. That's what the game's brought up anyway. Sorry to keep you waiting, Mike. But how did that happen? Did I just Anyway, I pressed continue. I'll speak about the Los Santos side before we start the game. Atletico Exiles. Tactical changes are probably the sort of the main story here, and Mike Duff having to get a number after he was sold by mistake into white slavery. Tomasi and Amantidis at DMC, they've been moved up to central role. Apart from that, not really that much to sort of discuss for Exiles. Limited in terms of transfers, just Duff and that going in and out for no reason. Lee Chun-so comes in from Los Santos. Not entirely sure where he is. There he is, but he's not going to feature, at least not for now. So Mike Duff gets a number. Let's just have a quick look at Los Santos. Apologies for that, for skipping over that. It's Dede and Sally Hamidic on the wings now. It's West and Hencho at the back. Ferguson there in central midfield. Nikiforenko and Shaq. So behind Sigalko, the lone striker for Los Santos. Plenty of improvements have been made by Scott since he's taken over at Los Santos, and I think, as spoken about before, this is. Um, this is definitely a very strong looking side. We'll see what Scott can do. Difficult to get a result against Exiles, it always is, but I'm sure the manager will be very hopeful, and we kick this one off. Los Santos at home taking on the Atletico Exiles. So interesting wingers there. Dede, who's been out of favor at the Northern Burn, kind of out of favor at Stanley, and now probably first choice at Los Santos. We'll see if a full season We'll put his name up in lights. there's a there's a WWE style rivalry I didn't see coming. Alf Bridge against Scott. My goodness. We could do with a bit of beef in the Super League these days after Campbell's gone so quiet and well behaved. So yeah, I'm all for it. LSK against Sloth. Let's see who's next. It might be Anyway, it gave me something to chat about in the first half because there's not been that much happening in terms of goals. 0-0. Very evenly matched the two sides here. 4-2, 4-3 Exiles. Good performance from Raul. Good performance from Constanzo in goal as well. Everyone else sort of plodding along. Um, not seeing Neil about, so we're probably going to consider that they will roll. Scott was definitely here, so I'll let him have a look at that. Carlos Jacques, how peed off is Carlos Jacques going to be that he's been put into AMC? By the way, top scorer last season. Big boy Tigalco getting brought in and Jacques getting dropped to AMC. I, I don't know, man. You look at 14 goals in 28 games. I mean, can Tigalco sort of? I mean, 16 and 12 for Badgers, I guess. He was good for Stanley at some point as well. Well, no. Manager says roll, so we'll roll till 60. I can ramble on about this a little bit later on, maybe. Casano floated in for Zé Roberto, who opens the scoring for Exiles. They have taken the lead away from home against Los Santos. Um, Probably not what the manager was hoping for, but Los Santos manager, what Scott was hoping for, especially as Alf still hanging about in the chat. There's probably going to be some comments made, I guess. Or is it just internet beef? Who knows? It's Smuts coming forward. You never know what's going to happen with him. Exiles get a corner, so Roberto whips it in. And there comes Christian Vieri. Good save by Andre, though, in the Los Santos goal. It's been fairly even still. Exiles just getting a few more shots on target. Los Santos struggling a little bit. Exiles, it's Tomasi on the 6, but everyone else is on 7s and 8. Smooch is on the 6 as well. Everyone else on 7s and 8. Those Casano, it was the one who got the assist. Funny one, Casano. Not really much of a name at the start of the game, but I guess after a couple of seasons he can really start to do something, and he's had a decent game for the Exiles here so far. That hour gone. Carlos Jacques down on a 6. Salihamidzic is on a 6 as well. Um, you're too polite, Alf. You're simply too polite. We'll see if Scott wants to do anything. He's got Agahawa, who can definitely play on the wing as well. He's got Morientes as an option. He's got Kalashax, who can be moved to a striking role if Tsigalco doesn't start performing. We'll see if he wants to do any of that this evening. 82 fitness for Dede, 81 for Taribo West. Potential small injury there, but with only half an hour left to play, they should probably be fine. Uh, um, uh, Yeah, we want to see it. We want to see it. Move wingbacks to wingers with arrows. We've done that. It's dead and it's like a how that's come on. That's what Scott's going to do. Excellent. Let's put this one back up. Agahawa comes forward, trying to make an immediate impact. There comes Patasoglu going forward as well. Um, Chances being created now. Yellow card for Taribo West, though. He's got to be careful. Taribo West was on a yellow, and Vieri just walks past him now twice. I guess he's just holding back. Fear of being sent off, and it's Christian Vieri who's unstoppable. 2 goals in quick succession there, and it was definitely not the start to the season that Los Santos and Scott was hoping for with Exiles. You never know when they're going to turn up, and tonight was one of those nights where they actually did. Christian Vieri getting man of the match award, Sil Roberto with an assist, Casano with the other assist, and Tomasi with the last one. And Neil just in time to enjoy it. Some night in the Super League, big away win there. Andres on the 7, not entirely sure what went wrong. It was as if when Tariba West picked up that yellow card, Christian Vieri was just sort of let loose and got that couple of goals. 11 and 4. That's a terrible performance from Tariba West down at the center there. But yeah, plenty more games in this season. Sergei Nikiforenko on a 6, Kalashak's on a 7, so is Sigalko. We'll see how Scott's going to juggle that front three. Kalashak's going to be furious with this. I mean, he didn't do particularly well, but he's going to be furious by being dropped from that striker role. But yeah, good win for Neil and the Exiles, and commiserations to Scott for that. But karma comes at you instantly. So honking performance, or honking Sloth squad, and a honking Santos performance, or was it a good Exiles performance? I'll let you decide. Last but not least, Club Sancte Saluti's birthday boy Ross. He was here earlier, or maybe he just popped in to say hello. Probably celebrating with his family, I hope, or maybe having a sneaky look on his mobile every now and again. Mike is here, so that's great. Sancte with, I guess, something that resembles. Oh, excellent, excellent, excellent. Let me just quickly double check. I believe. Oh, I believe it's Oliver Kahn is his captain, isn't he? For sure, Oliver Kahn is the captain. Anyway, what resembles some kind of Greavesy formation from 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 sort of years gone by. A lot of defensive players, a couple of arrows, and then the two strikers. Crespo's obviously come in instead of Van Nistelrooy. That's a big signing. He's brought in Richie Wellens. Zidane is there as well with an arrow. Riquelme. Ashley Cole. I'm delighted to see Ashley Cole getting some game time. It's been a while. He did okay at Stackington and brilliantly at Vikings, to be honest. And then he's kind of got lost and forgotten for a while. But he's back now. Didn't feature heavily for 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 um for Sancti last time out. But yeah, but here he is. So yeah, looking good. Um, no worries at all, Steve. It's a pleasure as always to entertain you guys. And congratulations on being top of the table, unless someone does something spectacular in the last game. Stanley, Ronaldo is injured on 90%, one day with a thigh strain. He's playing though, so we'll see how that goes. In the in the shrimp formation, I appreciate the entertaining names. Um, Makes a change from whatever team. Insert team name here, season 18. You can still change. I'm happy. I'm happy to put. You've got Petkovic, Comandini's looking decent, to be honest. He had 12 and 19 for Dudley and just forgotten since then. He's not looking bad. Comandini could maybe get a goal or two. You've got Debsky as well. He's looking fresh. Yeah. So yeah, please let me know. I start Debsky. Correct. That's the correct answer. Um, you gotta feel that with. Do you want to pick a captain as well, or you're happy to just go with whatever? I don't know if you picked one. I might have overlooked that. Um, as I get Ronnie J, big Ronnie J, he's got to be the captain, hasn't he? I mean, I don't know. Pick another one if you like. Um, anyway, the story of this one that I was going to come up with is oh, my apologies. Let me know and I'll fix it, and I'll ramble in the meantime. We're playing 5 DMCs here. Neville, indeed you did, indeed. Apologies. 5 DMCs. And yet, Robbie Savage, who actually, yeah, it was Ronaldo. You're right, Mike. You're right. What? 6 games, 3 goals, 2 assists, and a man of the match award. We play 5 DMCs, and he's not one of them. That's cruel. That's almost cruel. But anyway, how old is Ronnie J? Big Ronnie J. He's only 36. He's younger than Maldini. Come on, man. He's nowhere near the oldest player in the league. He can still do a job, I'm sure. Um, Yes, it's Gary Neville. Georges is playing, Del Piero is playing, Devsky starting, which is great. Uh, don't tempt fate. I don't know. Who got the save and played forward says there's like 3 or 4 of their players retire at Christmas. I guess it's Steve who has like Maldini and people like that. But yeah, there could be some mid-season retirements. I don't know, but we'll see how it goes. If you're wondering about the 2 spots here, future transfers are on their way. Chewy and other the wonderful players are about to join Red Rose Stanley from around the globe. So that's why he has got the 2 players missing. So there you go. Anyway, let's kick this one off. Sancti against Stanley. two teams who started a little bit poorly, I guess, last year, but got straight back into it in the second half of the season and picked up some great wins. Sancte picked up a few more points than Stanley, but Stanley definitely showed that they are a team to be reckoned with on their day as well. Um, Solidarity with Morecambe FC. Uh, I only really know Morecambe from the unfortunate Chinese fishermen incident from years ago. Fishermen, shrimp pickers, whatever they were, incident from years ago. I wasn't fully aware of the football club other than by name, and I didn't know they had problems until I saw. Um, yeah, it's sad news. It's sad news in the UK for a lot of clubs, historical clubs as well. I find it tragic that some of the things that I've kind of grown up with and clubs that I used to see in sort of magazines and newspapers and result lists are kind of not having a great time. Anyway, Stanley says S is for now. Esteban, new goalkeeper, has done a brilliant job so far. Lots of sixes and sevens, but the manager choosing to wait a little bit before he does anything about anything. Zidane has had 2 shots on target. That's good. And Christian Kiwu has done well. Um, Yeah, something I could ramble on about for ages. Club ownership in the UK and the way things are done, and yeah, I mean, it's a shame. But anyway, Lee Young Pyo been shown a yellow card. Emil Debsky is. I feel like I've seen his name a lot, but he hasn't really done much for Stanley so far. We'll see if someone else gets a chance here for the last half an hour. Which was the team that scored 7 at the start of last season? It was a little after that. Someone else's memory is better than mine. Not a lot happened, I'll be honest, between halftime and now. Um, Leon Pugh picked up that yellow card, right? That's right. And there's Comandini, there's Mandavike, and there is Wes Brown on the bench for Stanley. Triple substitution potentially incoming. Say probably at least one. Debsky's on a 6, and Comandini's waiting on the bench. Mandavikia is a forward, right? That could potentially come in for someone for Del Piero, maybe Wes Brown, maybe been saved as a backup. We'll see what Mike wants to do. Meanwhile, for us, it's I mean, the candles are on the cake, but no one's at the lung capacity to blow them out yet. Will, will that be Saviola? Will that be Chris James? Cisa for Saviola, and that is it, says Ross. So we shall do that. Saviola comes on to partner Crespo, and we move back to Stanley and their lineup and their potential tactics, and we'll see if Mike wants to do anything. It's going to be Mandavikia and it's going to be Comandini. And we're saving West Brown for dessert. Same arrows. Okay, done. Good, 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 good. Let's see. A couple of substitutions here. Both managers dipping into the bench and seeing if they can find a question to how to score goals, an answer to the question of how to score goals. Um, it seems as if Stanley has perhaps had the slightly the better of the sort of second part of the second half, but it's kind of fizzled out a little bit. I wish there was something I could talk about. There isn't. 0-0. Goalless draw between Sancte and Stanley. No birthday present for us, or like kind of a shitty one, I guess. But but yeah, clean sheet and a decent start to the season. 20 throw-ins, some misplaced passes. I'm not sure who's going to get man of the match. Mandaviki and Comandini did slightly better than the predecessors on the pitch, Del Piero and Debsky. Apart from that, it was probably Esteban Ukueheok and Ronnie Johnson who kind of stood out. Solid performance and a point away from home. Can't really argue with that. Christian Kivu with his 11 successful tackles and his many headers and everything, he gets a 10. Central defender gets a 10. Brilliant done. Excellent. Point for both managers. Make sure they're not on the bottom then, so that's always good. Round above the results. Dudley Hill beating the Badgers 5-0. Foss Road beating reigning champions Northern Burn 2-1. Haggis and the Vikings a 1-1 draw. Los Santos losing 3-0 at home to Exiles. Stanley holding Sancte Birthday Boy Ross to a 0-0 draw. Sloths with their honking squad beating East Coast 3-1. Excellent news for them. Stackington 3-2 against Fulchester in a very entertaining match early on this evening. Excellent. No point showing the league after one game. Just leave it a bit of mystery. I'll show it, but I won't scroll down. I'll spare you that. Dudley Hill are way out in front in terms of goal difference anyway. We're not going to dwell on this. Let's just have a look at the fixtures. It's a funny old shitty 4 game week next up. And it's Los Santos against the Vikings, it's Stanley against the Badgers, Fulchers against Foss Road, and Exiles against the Sloths. So LSK, Scott, it won't be you. I am sorry. We'll get this out of the way at some point. I'm not entirely sure how. And then it's going to be like last season, normal service resumes for about 10 games or something, and then it catches up. So apologies for the inconvenience. We'll try and get this one out of the way as soon as possible. Packs will be out, etc., etc. Um, -5 start to the season on goal difference. That's how it goes. I'll do some packs for you tomorrow morning, and we'll get some games played sooner rather than later. Happy to be back. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care, everyone. Good night.